Buenas tardes. Good afternoon. Vamos a empezar la junta. Todavía están llegando más personas y les estoy como admitiendo a la junta, but we're going to go ahead and get started. As people enter the meeting, we'll just allow them to enter, but we're going to go ahead and get started. Bienvenidos a la primera junta de la Asociación de Familias. Sabemos que la última vez que nos vimos fue en marzo. My name is Ms. Breeze. Soy la High School Dean of Students y también tengo a la señora Daniel.
Hi, I'm Candace Daniel. I am the High School Student Support Counselor.
Y vamos a comenzar la junta y lo que vamos a hacer es, ella lo va a decir en inglés primero y después yo lo voy a traducir en español. Y también estamos grabando la junta para lo puede ver en otro tiempo. So we can go ahead and start.
We can go ahead and get started, Donica. You can click to the next slide. So we're going to go over the WFA norms. Camera is optional. Breeze and I do have our cameras on, but it is totally up to you and your comfortability. If you like turning your camera on, please do so. We'd love to see your face. If not, that's okay. Have your speaker muted when you're coming in, as well as when we are opting into listening. And then if you do have a question, we'll go over answering questions and you can unmute yourself at that time. Type questions in the chat to be answered during the Q&A session that will happen at the end of the meeting today, and operate with respect and kindness towards one another, as I know you always do.
Vamos a hablar un poco de las expectativas de cuando estamos en este espacio y cómo interactuar. Es opcional que usted tenga la cámara puesta, prendida. Si usted gusta usar su cámara y vernos, está bien, lo sugerimos, pero no es necesario. También pedimos que mientras esté escuchando la presentación, que tenga su micrófono apagado. La tercera expectativa es que guarde sus preguntas para la sesión de último, que es cuando vamos a agarrar preguntas. Y siempre, la última expectativa es de siempre interactuar con respeto hacia uno al otro.
Okay, Danica, you can go ahead and... Before we begin today's meeting, we do have a message from our principal, Ms. Galligan.
Antes de comenzar nuestra junta, tenemos un mensaje de nuestra directora, Ms. Galligan.
Good evening, Wizard parents. I wanted to spend some time just addressing our closure today and tomorrow, and just clarify some of the things that we communicated yesterday to families, and then provide you with some additional information about what Southeast and what Yes Prep is doing in response to active cases of COVID-19. So I'm going to start just with gratitude. I want to thank all of our in-person students who, for the most part, have been doing a really good job responding to our expectations, our safety protocols, following directions. I'm so proud of them. I have an immense amount of gratitude for all of you. If we have parents here who have students who have been in person, thank you so much for being patient with us and for also helping and supporting your students during this time. And then finally, I have to thank our staff and our teachers who are so courageous and so caring in helping us provide in-person learning to students during this pandemic. A couple of things about our school closure. So campus has already been deep cleaned and sanitized. That happened almost immediately yesterday evening, and the procedures continued today. And so that is something that happened right away. Virtual classes are going to continue through tomorrow. So all students should be attending their regular schedule virtually and should be in a fully synchronous virtual learning environment tomorrow. So they should be logged in all day from 8:30 to 3:45. Obviously, they have breaks within that, but for the most part, they should be engaged in active learning during that time. An update will be sent to all of you tomorrow via School Messenger and on our website, as long as we can confirm that we are not seeing any spread in response to the active cases that we were notified of. We will be able to reopen on Monday for students who were not in close contact with the individuals who tested positive. Students who were identified as close contact are required to quarantine until November 4th, and you should have received a phone call if your student falls into those categories. All of the staff who are identified as close contact will only be able to return to work if they test negative or are cleared by a doctor, and I just wanted to make sure that parents were aware of that. I'll pause there.
Ok, la directora quiere empezar primeramente dando las gracias a los papás y a la comunidad de magos que en este momento, en esta situación difícil, se ha unido y ha enseñado que la unidad en una comunidad en estos tiempos es lo más importante. Y le damos las gracias a los maestros, a los estudiantes, a los padres por ser tan flexible y tener tanto ser tan gentil y flexible durante este tiempo. Queríamos dar unas actualizaciones de el plantel que se ha cerrado. El plantel ha sido limpiado y desinfectado a fondo. Eso pasó inmediatamente y va a seguir continuando mañana también. Clases virtuales continúan hasta el viernes, que es mañana 23. También se enviará una actualización a las familias sobre la reapertura, cuando se va a abrir a la escuela. Mañana por la noche a través de School Messenger es cuando va a recibir el mensaje o email, y también en nuestro sitio de web, en nuestro enlace electrónico. Otra cosa, los estudiantes identificados como contacto cercano deben estar en cuarentena hasta el 4 de noviembre y ellos ya fueron, la comunicación con esos estudiantes y familias fue hecha. El personal, maestros, maestras o personal de la escuela identificado como contacto cercano solo podrá regresar al trabajo si dan prueba de un examen negativo o son aprobados por un médico.
Now I want to share a little bit about what COVID-19 response looks like across the district and at Southeast. So all of our on-campus safety protocols and all of the rules that we have for students and staff are designed to stop the spread of COVID-19. We are behaving as if there is COVID-19 in the building because we know we all are exposed to different people, and then we come together in a school building space. And so our protocols are designed to keep people apart from each other. That's why we're encouraging wearing masks. And we're going to go over some of those protocols later on in this meeting, but I just want to be really clear that those protocols are designed to stop the spread should someone encounter COVID-19 in their outside life, outside of school. There are no confirmed cases of campus spread at any Yes Prep campus. So that means at this time, we do not have any reports that a student has contracted COVID-19 from another student while at school. So all of the cases that have been reported at Southeast and at Yes Prep campuses so far, we don't have any confirmation that those are cases that kids got at school. If we do receive information about that, we'll take very different next steps because, again, our protocols are designed to stop that spread. We report and follow our protocol alongside district leaders immediately when we learn about a suspected or confirmed case. And so Yes Prep leaders were working around the clock last night to make sure that all of the contact tracing, cleaning, sanitization, and all of those things happened immediately. This is not something where we wait until the next day. So you can be assured that we are acting swiftly when we learn about these things. We contact trace using our rosters, attendance records, bus attendance, and hallway passes if needed. So if your student is an in-person learner and they've noticed that we're very strict about things like hallway passes, about them being in the correct place at the correct time, about taking bus attendance, that's the reason. We want to make sure that we can pinpoint any place where any student is when they're on campus at any time in the event that we do have to contact trace. And our diligence in this matter helped us immensely yesterday as we were going through this process.
Okay. Nuestros procedimientos de seguridad en el plantel están diseñados para detener la propagación del COVID-19. Una cosa que quiere mencionar la directora es que en este momento no hay casos confirmados de diseminación en el plantel ni en ningún plantel de YesPrep. ¿Qué significa eso? Que ningún estudiante ha sido como contactado con el COVID-19 de otro estudiante. Los casos confirmados que tenemos nosotros han sido fuera de la escuela, que el estudiante o el familiar fuera de la escuela fue expuesto al COVID-19 en otra parte, no en la escuela. Y si eso pasa, nuestros procedimientos cambiarán radicalmente. Entonces queríamos dejarlo saber que hay diferentes pasos para diferentes casos. Informamos y seguimos nuestro procedimiento junto con los líderes del distrito inmediatamente después de conocer los casos sospechosos o confirmados. No es algo que esperamos el día siguiente o que esperamos que tengamos más conocimiento de la situación. Es algo que empezamos a actuar inmediatamente. Contactamos a TRACE usando listas, registros de asistencia del autobús y pases de pasillo si es necesario. Si usted tiene estudiantes que ya están en el plantel, a lo mejor han escuchado que los estudiantes están diciendo que somos muy estrictos con los pases y que tomamos asistencia en el autobús y cuando bajan y que somos muy estrictos en el aspecto de que tienen que estar donde tienen que estar a la hora que tienen que estar, y es por esta razón, porque cuando pasa un caso así es más fácil y más posible poder usar listas y los registros para ver quién estuvo dónde y poder contactar a esas familias que estuvieron en contacto. Y lo hemos hecho muy bien, entonces pudimos ponernos en acción muy rápidamente ayer, nos ayudó bastante.
All right, I'm going to go over these really, really quickly because I think they get repeated later. So please continue to keep your children home when they feel unwell or if they've been in contact with someone who has COVID-19. Please make sure that we have the most updated, sorry, my dog's playing with a squeaky toy. Please make sure that we have updated contact information in Skyward so that in the event that we need to get a hold of you, we're able to do so. Obviously, continue to talk to your children about masks, social distancing, and procedures, and have them practice those same safety practices outside of school and on weekends to limit their exposure. And then finally, if your child is going to be absent from virtual or in-person learning, please call the front office. We receive a lot of calls, and so someone might not answer right away, but please do leave a message if the line is busy, and be sure to include the student's name, grade level, and a phone number to call back. I know that we're asking a lot of ourselves as staff members this year. We're asking a lot of you as parents. We're asking a lot of students, but together we create a stronger and safer community. And so thank you so much. And I'm going to go ahead and stop there because I know that Ms. Breeze and Ms. Daniel have plenty to share during this meeting. Thank you so much for continuing to trust us with the education and the safety and well-being of your children. It's an honor to be able to educate them. Thank you.
Gracias, directora Galligan. Lo que ella dijo en inglés se va a repetir en en la otra parte de la presentación. Se trata de mantener sus estudiantes en casa cuando se sienten hasta un poquito enfermos. Eso nos va a ayudar grandemente para mantener nuestra comunidad saludable. Y les da las gracias y también expresa que es un honor servir a esta comunidad y a estos estudiantes. Gracias.
And thank you for those who have already started putting questions in the comment section. We will follow up with those at the end for our Q&A session. So please populate the chat with your questions now. And we are moving on to our team builder.
Okay.
Just like we would do in person. Go ahead, Ms. Breeze.
Sí, gracias por los que ya han empezado sorry, se escucha mi bebé llorando, perdón. You can hear my baby crying, sorry. Gracias por los que ya están empezando a poner, a capturar preguntas en el chat. Por favor, continúe haciéndolo porque va a haber una sección a ver al último donde vamos a... sorry. Por favor, continúe poniendo las preguntas en el chat y vamos a contestarlas en la sección cuando vamos a hacer las preguntas. Y si no las preguntamos aquí en vivo, vamos a contestarlas directamente con ustedes. Ok, vamos a seguir con nuestro rompehielo, como de siempre. Siempre comenzamos las juntas como rompehielo y queremos continuar la tradición. Bueno, queremos que ustedes describan con una palabra o si puede meter una palabra en el chat o una foto que describa cómo ha sido el aprendizaje en su hogar estos últimos meses. So, like in true fashion, we always do a team builder. The team builder today is describe what learning has looked like in your home these last couple of months with either a picture or a GIF or one word. So, vamos a contar a 5 y lo vamos a meter en el chat. We're going to count to 5 and then we're going to blow up the chat with one word or one picture that describes your house learning experience, your house learning happening in your home. So.
Yes. Oh.
I can't see, let me see, I can't see the chat. So can some...
So I'll just say some of the responses. We've had challenging, an uphill challenge. Ms. Piche put a baby crying while they're reading. So there's OMG, oh my God, with tear face emojis. Yes, all of this is right. There's one in Spanish that I can't translate, Miss Breeze. I'm not sure if you can see it.
For some reason, I am not able to see the chat at all. I don't even
very frustrating.
Oh, wait, there we go. Show conversation.
Miss Arambula.
Muy frustrante. Muy frustrante. Yes. Frustrating.
No, there's one right above that. Un poco cansado.
Un poco cansado. Un poco nada más. She said a little tiring.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, wait. There we go. Let me accept her back.
Stressful. That means tiring. Thank you for translating for me.
Perfecto. Así un poquito pensamos que nos iban a decir. Sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
La línea del 2020 es sorry, I was on mute. De este año es que, perdón, no tenía mi micrófono prendido. Ok, thank you all. Muchas gracias. Siempre nos gusta empezar las juntas con un poquito de comunidad. De veras que sí se les extraña. Se había dicho que... ok, otra preguntas. Gracias por interactuar en este modo. Okay, thank you all. We can move to the next slide.
All righty, upcoming campus events and important dates that you need to know about. The first one is a big one. So that's the Q2 Program Selection Survey. That deadline is Sunday, October 25th. That is where you go onto Skyward to select the method of instruction that you would prefer your child to have for Q2. So that deadline is October 25th, and that's where you either select that you want your child to do virtual learning or to be in-person learning.
Una fecha que es muy importante, que queremos que capture y que tenga su calendario es el 25 de octubre, que es el domingo. Es el último día donde usted como padre puede decidir la opción para su estudiante. Si es que quiere que regrese a la escuela o que se quede virtual. Entonces, es la última oportunidad que ustedes tienen para esta quarter de noviembre, para empezar en noviembre. Entonces, por favor, vaya a Skyward, donde puede usted hacer el cambio.
Yes. Next is common assessments. This is the first round of common assessments this year. They will be next week, October 28th through the 30th. Your students will be testing all day. So if they are virtual, that test will happen virtually, and in person, that test will happen in person, socially distanced.
El 28 de octubre al 30 van a ser la primera ronda de exámenes, los Common Assessments.
Alrighty. Also next week, there's a lot happening next week. We have Red Ribbon Week, which Red Ribbon Week is the nation's oldest and largest drug prevention awareness campaign that Yes Prep Southeast will be participating in. You'll see the themed dress days that students can participate in if they are virtual or if they're in person, either way. And their participation in the event is their commitment to living a drug-free lifestyle.
La celebración celebración nacional de la prevención del uso de drogas es el 26 al 30 de octubre, la semana que viene. Típicamente se celebra para cada día tiene un tema y el estudiante se viste o participa cada día usando ese tema. Entonces, los estudiantes ya recibieron esta información y motivamos que el estudiante participe.
Yes, and lastly, also ending next week on the 30th is report card grading cycle. So now is the time for students who may be missing work, need to finish completing work, or need to turn in work. That is the time to do that now, as report card cycle ends next week, and teachers are going to be closing out their grade books to begin Q2.
Las calificaciones para este siglo cierran el 30 de octubre, entonces el próximo viernes es la última semana que los estudiantes tienen para subir sus grados para estas calificaciones.
Alrighty, Danica, next slide. All right, we're going to take a second to review our campus learning safety protocols. There are 3, and I'll go through this pretty quickly. The first is safety above all. This policy means, this may mean that policies and procedure may be slow and inconvenient, but we're operating with the safety of the larger group in mind.
El procedimiento de seguridad, seguridad ante todo. Esto puede significar que las políticas y los procedimientos pueden ser lentos o inconvenientes.
Yes. The second is schooling during a pandemic is new for all of us, for everybody involved, and we will adjust plans as we learn more about what our campus needs or if we need to shift in any way.
La educación durante una pandemia es nueva para todos y ajustaremos los planes a medida que aprendemos más.
And lastly, we will treat each other with kindness and patience because we all have the same goal in mind, which is making sure that our students remain safe while they learn. So we thank you so much for your continued kindness and patience during pickup or drop off, as we are all working together to make sure that everyone gets to and from school safely.
Nos trataremos con amabilidad y paciencia porque todos tenemos el mismo objetivo de estar seguros y saludables. Entonces le agradecemos a todos los que ya regresaron a la comunidad en persona y han respetado las nuevas reglas.
All right, Danica, next slide. Did it go? Alrighty, so our PPE and safety expectations. As a district, we are committed to doing the best we can to keep our students and staff safe. All campuses have been provided with PPE materials, so that's sanitizers, thermometers, face masks, and disinfectant wipes. Classrooms and common spaces will have sanitizers and wipes available to keep hands and spaces clean. And then everyone entering the campus will have their temperatures checked, and signs will be posted throughout the campus to remind everyone of the safety expectations of being physically distant.
Ok, una de las expectativas o nuevas reglas para las personas, los estudiantes que están llegando en persona es control de temperatura, mascarillas y evaluación de bienestar antes de ingresar al edificio. Suministros en cada salón de clase significa que hay diferentes materiales, hay materiales en todas las clases de desinfectantes, toallitas y otras protección adicional. Se colocarán también letreros alrededor y también mucho gel desinfectante. También hay muchos letreros alrededor del plantel para recordarles a los estudiantes, el personal y visitantes de los procedimientos de seguridad.
Okay. Next slide, Danica. There we go. All right, our student health and safety check in Skyward. Please utilize the time between 8 and 8:30 to help students complete their health and safety screenings in Skyward if they have not done so prior to arriving to school. So what you'll do is you'll go to Skyward and ensure that the appropriate state and district, so Texas and YesPrep, are selected. And then the student login information is the YesPrep email. So that's just the email address. You don't have to include the @ ... at the end. And then the password is YesStudent17, and that's a capital YES and capital STUDENTS 17.
La evaluación de bienestar antes de ingresar el edificio es una forma electrónica que los estudiantes tienen que hacer antes de entrar, así también como el personal. Y esa evaluación de bienestar se tiene que entregar antes de llegar al edificio. Entonces, sugerimos que usen el tiempo de 8 a 8:30 para meter esa forma. Y es en Skyward.
Okay, on the screen right now, you can see what it looks like when you log in. Danica, can you click to the next screen? This is what it looks like. You'll see the questions and the responses. When you go into it, it is defaulted to answer no, and we ask that you please, you and your student look carefully and consider the responses for each question so that we can continue to keep them as well as their classmates and staff safe, because we want them to provide the most accurate responses.
Okay, you can go to the next slide.
Alrighty, and this is what it will look like once the student has completed the student health check. There's a green check, and when a student leaves the bus or if they're in the parent pickup line, they'll show this to the staff as they're getting their temperature taken.
Esto es lo que usted va a ver cuando complete la evaluación electrónica, y cuando bajen del autobús y los estudiantes, o del carro, también van a enseñar eso, y cuando agarran le checan la temperatura.
Thank you. Go ahead, Danica. Alrighty, keeping the classroom clean and sanitized will be the shared responsibility between students, us as staff, and our wonderful cleaning staff that has been working around the clock to make sure we stay safe. There are clear procedures for students when entering and exiting a space, along with wiping down devices and tablets and tables. Clear plexiglass dividers have been installed on all student tables to create additional protection and to help maintain social distancing. High contact areas will be disinfected throughout the day, and a deeper cleaning will happen every single night.
Todos los estudiantes se lavarán las manos al entrar, o desinfectarán las manos al entrar al edificio, y cada vez que salgan y entren a un espacio común. Los estudiantes también limpiarán las áreas y los espacios que han trabajado según sea necesario con toallitas desinfectantes. Todas las mesas para estudiantes tienen dividores de plexiglas transparentes para no permitir más de 4 estudiantes por mesa. El edificio también se limpiará durante todo el día y se eliminará los gérmenes todas las noches.
Go ahead, Danica. There we go. Sign up for Legacy Services. Legacy is back on our campus and open as long as our building is open to provide medical health and behavioral health services to our students and their families. You can utilize our district partners, Legacy, to sign up for healthcare services if you need them. Students will have to complete, or I'm sorry, families will have to complete an informed consent, and they can participate or have services on the medical side with Dr. Lobo by using that direct line that's on the screen, as well as behavioral side, that's our counseling and psychiatric services that are provided by Legacy by contacting their direct line. For behavioral services, if you would like to speak with myself, the high school counselor, or Ms. Hoffman, the middle school counselor, and we can make that referral for you, that is also a step that you can take if you are unable to use that phone. So if for behavioral services only, you can call them directly, or you can work through one of the counselors to get referred to counseling services.
Servicios médicos y también para hacer servicios mental y emocional de comportamiento. Tenemos la clínica en nuestra escuela. Mientras las puertas estén abiertas en nuestra escuela, también las puertas de la clínica van a estar abiertas. Ellos también están haciendo exámenes de COVID para los estudiantes o cualquier otra situación medical. Si usted necesita servicios de esta clínica, el número es 832-548-5000. Esa es la línea directa. Lo puedo poner aquí. 832-548-5000. Y si necesita como más ayuda con terapias o consejería, puede contactar a las consejeras de la escuela, Ms. Daniel o Ms. Hoffman, o también puede llamar a la línea directa.
Thank you. And Danica, we're going to skip 2 slides, and we're going to go ahead to have Ms. McIntyre come and talk about our attendance policy. Ms. McIntyre, are you there?
I'm here.
All
righty. All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Francesca McIntyre, the Director of Student Support. One thing that is very important for us this year is still attendance. We still encourage you to, if your student is sick in any way, we encourage you to keep them home. And when they feel well, we expect them to be at school. Yes Prep Schools believes in the importance of student attendance as a key lever for student achievement. Whether an absence is excused or unexcused, we believe the most effective way for students to meet their academic and social goals is actually for them to be at school. So we believe that the most effective strategies to ensure students are present at school include strong systems, engaging academics, trusting relationships, and prevention and intervention protocols. So we will be working with prevention and intervention protocols on campus, but our goal is to make sure that when your students are able to be at school, that we provide them with all the services that they need so that they can be successful and live the life that they choose to live.
Okay, I don't know if you were going to skip to the next one. Primeramente, quiero darle la bienvenida a la señora McIntyre, que es la nueva directora de apoyo estudiantil. Ms. Francesca McIntyre fue la directora también de secundaria el año pasado y ahora es la directora de apoyo estudiantil. Entonces le damos la bienvenida y va a hablar de la tendencia y la importancia de la tendencia. La primera cosa que dijo es, como habíamos dicho antes, es de que lo más importante es que el estudiante se quede en casa cuando no se sienta bien, pero la expectativa es que cuando se sienta bien, esté saludable, que esté en la escuela. Nosotros vamos a trabajar para asegurar que si faltó el estudiante por razones médicas, que el estudiante pueda atender un plan de organización con sus maestros. Y vamos a continuar monitoreando las tendencias de su estudiante mientras sea electrónicamente o en persona.
Next slide. So I just wanted to provide you all with a brief overview of how we're defining attendance. If your student is an in-person at school student, it's same as previous years. Students who come to school, they're marked present. If a student is not at school, they're marked absent. Please still submit any doctor's notes or anything that you have if you know that your child is going to be absent. For our students who are online at home, for synchronous instruction, that is the instruction that they're doing at the same time. Synchronous means at the same time. Students will be marked present if they interact with the teacher via Microsoft Teams as part of the live whole class or small group instructions, or even if they complete a Microsoft form, turn in an assignment on Teams, or watch a video on Microsoft Teams or Stream. So those are the two different differentiations of our in-school attendance and our online at home attendance.
Va a dar las diferencias de cómo estamos monitoreando la tendencia o cómo estamos definiendo la tendencia del estudiante en persona. Si el estudiante está en persona, si él viene al plantel, lo vamos a marcar presente. Si falta, falta. Pero en línea, el estudiante lo marcan presente cuando el estudiante cumple tareas electrónicamente o tiene un tipo de interacción con el maestro durante el tiempo de clase en vivo. Entonces, esa es la única diferencia. Next slide. Ok. Créditos. Recuperación de créditos. Están acostumbrados que siempre es el tema que siempre hablo yo. Para el fall, para este semestre, el primer semestre, que es el fall credit recovery otoño, el semestre de otoño, va a haber recuperación de créditos para nada más 11 y 12 grado. ¿Ok? Para 9 y 10 no va a haber recuperación de créditos este semestre. El próximo semestre, en enero y en más allá y en el verano, sí habrá oportunidad para recuperar el crédito si están en 9 y 10 grado. Este año vamos a hacer recuperación de créditos por medio del colegio HCC, Houston Community College. Cada curso que tenga que recuperar el estudiante es $175 y la registración es la semana que viene, el 29. Las clases de recuperación empiezan el 31 y acaban en diciembre 12. So for fall credit recovery, as you know, you're probably used to me talking about all things credit recovery all the time. So an update that for this year, 9th and 10th grade, will not have a fall credit recovery opportunity this semester. Their credit recovery is going to happen in the spring and in the summer. So for this semester, we're going to prioritize juniors and seniors since they're closer to graduation. We are going to partner up with Houston Community College for credit recovery, and each course is $175. Students must register themselves, and myself and Ms. McIntyre and Ms. Covarrubias will guide them through that registration process if they are identified as needing credit recovery. Registration deadline is October 29th, so next week. Perfect. So next week. And the classes begin the 31st and they end December 12th. So if you know you have a student that is failing or failed some of his classes, or you want to inquire about, you think he might be failing or she might be failing, please let me know. Please be in contact with me so we can get him or her registered.
Next slide, Danica. Alrighty, these updates and important dates are from the College Corner about our juniors and seniors. So class of 22, our juniors are practicing for their SAT. So college counselors are asking that you please make sure that your child is practicing for at least 30 minutes a week at home in preparation for this exam that's going to take place December 5th. This exam will not be on campus, and students will have begun registration in their junior seminar class. Spots are filling up fast, so it's important that your child registers as soon as possible. If you have any questions, please see Mr. Orsonio or Ms. Blanco, and we will celebrate students after they have finished that exam, December 4th, because it'll be the class of 2022's first SAT exam.
So tenemos varias cosas que están pasando en la esquina del colegio que se llama College Corner. Primeramente, el 5 de diciembre es el examen de SAT, y el 4, si tienen alguna pregunta acerca de la registración, acerca de el examen, o si usted es estudiante califica para registración reducida, puede comunicarse con Javier Osornio o la señora Blanco, y esto es para la clase de 11 grado. Y después, bueno, el 4 de diciembre es la celebración de SAT, y es cuando vamos a tomar un tiempo de celebrar a la clase de 2022 y hacer todos los detalles para prepararlos para el 5 de diciembre.
Alrighty, for our seniors class of 2021, Senior Parent Night was on October 20th. If you've missed that meeting, you can look at the link. It's in the Yes Prep Wizard family notes of this week, or you can reach out to Ms. Covarrubias by her email that's listed there. Ms. Breeze will go ahead and put that in the chat just in case you missed it and you need that link. As well, parents of seniors will be receiving the parent letter for their final college list. So parents, we need you to go into Skyward, as college counselors will be trying to contact you this week, or in the coming weeks, I should say, the week of the 26th, to make sure that you are aware of what school your child is applying to. And we need the most up-to-date information in Skyward to make that communication happen. Go ahead, Ms. Breeze.
El 20 de octubre tuvieron la primera noche de familias para los estudiantes de seniors. Y fue el 20. Entonces, si tiene alguna pregunta acerca de eso, fue para dar información a las familias acerca del proceso de colegiatura. Michelle Covarrubias, como puse la dirección de ella en el chat. También la próxima semana va a ser cuando los consejeros de colegio y la señora Covarrubias van a mandar a casa la lista finalizada de los colegios de que el estudiante eligió. Entonces, es por medio de Skyward. Entonces, si usted no tiene acceso a Skyward, por favor, contacte al consejero de su estudiante. Su estudiante debe saber quién es su consejero para asegurarse que usted tenga acceso a la lista finalizada. Significa la lista donde su estudiante va a mandar sus solicitudes. Y después, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Lastly, parent financial aid nights are coming soon. The FAFSA opened up October 1st, and students will be receiving more information about that process in seminars. So be on the lookout from college counselors about when those financial aid nights will happen.
También vamos a tener noches donde ayudan a las familias a llenar la solicitud de financial aid. Entonces, también si es algo que usted está interesado en recibir financial aid, entonces, por favor, esté en contacto y esté al tanto de comunicación de su consejero. Next slide.
Alrighty, now it's time. We're at 6:12 for our Q&A session. So those of you who have written in the chat your questions, Ms. Breeze is going to go through those, and we'll do our best between all of us who are here to answer those questions. Once we've gone through those, there is a raise your hand feature. It is, if you are familiar with Teams, it's at the top of the screen. You'll see a hand that looks like this. You'll click it, and once we finish the questions that are already in the chat, we'll go through the raise your hand feature and call your name, and you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Okay.
So I'm going to ask Ms. Quijano to give, if she can unmute herself, and she's been capturing the trends or questions that we should bring whole group. Ms. Quijano, ¿me puede dar, can you give me maybe a couple questions that I could answer, we could try to answer?
For the most part, you've answered the majority of them in the chat. The newest ones I have is that they want to know, I guess they've been calling, they left a message. The front, I guess they want to know when they'll get a return call.
Okay.
That's one parent, so.
So the expectation to get in communication is 48 hours, so 2 days, 2 business days. That is our as staff members. La expectativa es de regresar llamadas al máximo 2 días después que recibimos los mensajes. Entonces, si es más de 2 días, puede mandar un correo, un correo electrónico. Si tiene que ver con algo de las operaciones del plantel, como atendencia o autobús o algo de eso, de la opción de cambiar ir en persona o quedarse en casa. Eso tiene que ver con operaciones de la oficina. Entonces es Jennifer Birch. Solo voy a poner su correo electrónico aquí. So I just said the expectation for staff communication to return to our parents is a maximum of 2 days. We have 48 hours, 2 business days to return communication. If it has been more than 2 days communication, we suggest that you email the department head of what you are needing. In this case, it's Jennifer Birch, so I'm going to drop her email on the chat.
Okay, I had a parent ask if when will they get an update on uniforms?
Update on uniforms as far as for this semester or for next semester, I mean?
Or when are they going to start
wearing uniforms? Okay.
Yeah, with school uniform, yes.
District has not released any information about uniforms for next, not that I know of, for next semester. If anyone is on the call, maybe a director, if there's something that I don't know about uniforms next semester, but from what I understand, we're still on free dress until we're told otherwise.
You're absolutely correct. The district has not put out any guidance so far on free dress. So right now, we will be in free dress until you guys are given further directives on what dress will be.
Hasta ahorita vamos a terminar el semestre así, sin uniformes, nada más con el código, o sea, con diferentes reglas que no chores muy cortos y cosas así, pero el distrito todavía no ha dicho que uniformes, hasta que ellos digan. Y los vamos a dejar saber lo más pronto posible.
I had one question, a parent inquiring about when will students start eating in the lunchroom again?
Oh. La pregunta es que cuándo los estudiantes van a empezar a comer en la cafetería. De lo que yo sé, nada de eso va a continuar hasta que CDC diga que ya estamos en un lugar más responsable y para poder hacerlo, y las guianzas de ellos nos digan que ya lo podemos hacer. So, from what I understand, we're going to continue with these procedures and protocols until we are guided and instructed by CDC guidelines in our district that it's safe and responsible to do so.
I can add to that, Ms. Brees.
Okay.
I can also say that it is unlikely that we will change that procedure this semester.
Okay. No es muy posible que vamos a cambiar las maneras que estamos haciendo las cosas este semestre. Cuando, perdón. Does anybody say anything else? I'm sorry, I can't hear.
Ms. Quijano, were you saying something else?
No.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Okay.
I see a question if our child, but I see if your child was virtual and will still remain virtual, do we have to resubmit the program survey? No, you do not. La pregunta fue del señor Garza que si el estudiante es virtual, clases electrónicas en casa y quieren continuar ser virtual, si es necesario meter el enlace electrónico. No, no es necesario. Nada más si va a ser un cambio. Ok. ¿Hay alguna otra pregunta que no hemos capturado? Yo pude ver una pregunta acerca de Fall Credit Recovery, que cómo vamos a saber si el estudiante necesita recuperación de créditos. Vamos a identificar los estudiantes y vamos a hacer esa comunicación a finales de viernes, mañana y lunes.
Okay, Ms.
Quisiera
Bree.
interrumpir. No puedo- I'm sorry, I'm a parent.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, I cannot type. I don't know. It says I'm not a participant. I don't know why.
Okay.
Okay, my question is that, you know, every day that the kids, when they're going to arrive to the school, we have to do that, submit that health thing on Skyward every day.
Yes,
ma'am.
every day. Students and staff have to submit that every day.
Okay, what happened? Okay, another question. I just changed my kids to go in person. So how can I know if I did it correct? Like on Skyward, is it a survey?
Mhm.
So I changed that they going to school the next semester. Like I think they started the second.
Yes.
How can I know if they're
If
they're
it's
already there?
changed, if they're
Yes.
registered, yeah. Yes, then that's a good question, because there's been some glitches. I would, if you don't see it if you've submitted the survey to switch their learning preference and it doesn't state it in their, or it doesn't state it in their Skyward, it still says the old version, I would call the front office and letting them know that that's what happened so they can manually fix it.
Thank you, appreciate it.
La señora preguntó dos cosas, que si la evaluación del estudiante que tienen que entregar todos los días por Skyward, que habíamos hablado temprano, sí, todos los días, así como los maestros y personal, tenemos que entregar esa forma electrónicamente todos los días, verificando que nos sentimos bien y que no tenemos síntomas. Y la segunda parte que preguntó es que cómo confirmar que ya hizo el cambio en el enlace, confirmando que quiere hacer un cambio de preferencia de aprendizaje. Si en su Skyward no dice que cambió, no dice que va para persona en la próxima semana, o no ve que hace el cambio, por favor llame a la oficina para que puedan cambiarlo manualmente. I see a question about computers. Quisiera saber si tienen computadoras disponibles, cuándo se le podrán otorgar a mi hijo. So this is a question about if we have computers available, when can we give one to her son? So I do believe we have very few left, but I want to toss it up to someone else if they know for sure if we're still giving out computers, loaners.
I need to clarify, is this a student who already has a school issued computer and it's not working correctly?
Yeah.
Or is this a student who never received a school issued computer?
Yeah. Señora Angélica Salazar, si puede un poquito clarificar acerca de la computadora, ¿nunca se le dio una computadora a su estudiante o la que tiene actual no trabaja?
I'll just answer in both situations. Okay. So if it is a student who is using a current laptop that was issued by the school and it is not working, there is a link on our website to report that and we can get that fixed, or we can notify the student's homeroom teacher and they can put in that request for them. If it is a student who never received a school issued laptop and does not have access to a device at home, if we could have that parent email Ms. Schumacher to flag that for her.
Yeah,
and from we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, and from what I'm seeing, it's that he never received a school issued computer.
Yeah, so we can check to see what our inventory looks like and get back to them. But an email to Ms. Schumacher, perfect. Thank you, Ms. Daniel, for putting that in the chat. Will flag that for us the fastest, especially knowing that we have assessments coming up next week.
Yeah.
Okay, perfecto. Por favor, mande un email, un correo electrónico a Bonnie Schumacher. Yeah. Okay.
Do you see the question from Ms. Garza? I think it's about SAT.
Can you read that one?
It's in Spanish.
I can read it for you, Breeze.
Okay.
Okay, so, and if the student is virtual and for some reason must go to school as a music class or test like SAT, we must also fill out the Skyward questionnaire, and that would be yes.
Yes.
It must always be submitted through Skyward.
Yeah. Okay. So the daily health check needs to be submitted by any staff or student who's going to be on campus for any reason.
Okay, and I see one question that I want to know. It says, can I keep my son home as of today to stay online instead of in person, or do we have to wait for the next semester? He started on Tuesday in person. And the answer is no, you don't have to wait until the semester. Anytime that you send your student in person and you feel that you want to keep switching back to online because you feel just you want to do that, it's your family. It will take, he can start virtually the next day. I think it takes a day or two for his schedule to reflect that change.
I dropped it in the link, in the chat. If your student is in person and you desire to change them to virtual, I dropped the link to the form that you must complete. That form is due by Friday every week. It will take up to a week for your child's schedule to be changed. And for attendance purposes, your child still needs to be present at school until they get the official change. And note, the link that I dropped is solely for in-person students who need to change back to virtual. It's another link for if you want your child to change for the semester. A note on that, if your child changes to virtual and they're currently in person and you change them, you won't be able to change them back until the next quarter's selection date.
Yep. So let me translate that. Hay una forma que la señora McIntyre acaba de poner en el chat que tiene que llenar. No se tiene que esperar hasta el que se acabe el semestre, pero se va a tardar como unos 2 o 3 días para que el horario refleje ese cambio. Y mientras el horario refleje ese cambio, la expectativa es que el estudiante sí esté en sus clases. La segunda parte es de que si cambia, hace ese cambio de regresar a casa, no podrá hacer el cambio otra vez a persona hasta que se acabe esas calificaciones, ese ciclo de calificaciones.
Changes this week. So Ms. McIntyre was absolutely correct in everything she said, that it typically takes us up to a week to change a schedule because there are a lot of moving pieces and it takes a long time. For this week, we are going to prioritize doing them faster because I understand, obviously, if there are some students who began in person this week and would like to switch back to virtual, we're going to try to prioritize doing those a little bit faster, just given our school closure this week.
I think those are all the questions that I see.
Yep, that's all of them.
Okay, perfect. Muchas gracias. Thank you for everyone who.
Oh, wait, there's a hand. Sarah's mom.
Hay una mano alzada. La mamá de Sara.
Sarah's mom, are you still there?
I think she put it down.
Okay.
Okay, muchas gracias a todos. Si tienen algunas más preguntas, nos las puede hacer directamente. Go ahead to the next slide, please. Okay, síganos y manténgase conectado por Facebook, Instagram, notas de familias de magos. Esta es, I don't know if anybody can screenshot that and put that in the chat. I don't know how anybody can do that, but hopefully we can later. Vamos a tratar de copiar esa foto y ponerla en la chat. Para que nos puedan seguir. So we just wanted you to stay connected and follow us on all of our social media platforms, Facebook, Yes Prep Southeast, Instagram at YP Southeast, also our Wizard Family Notes. So hopefully we can drop this snippet on our chat. Next.
Ms. Breeze, if I could add a little bit to that. Parents, if you could visit our website, I know there's a lot of communication going out, whether it's district-wide, campus-wide, but where you are going to be able to find that information is going to be on our website. Our website contains everything that you really need. It's going to be, if you don't know how to do the Skyward survey, you will be able to find information on there. If you need to know bus routes, you'll be able to find it on there as well. If you need help, you can always call the front office or you can send an email. I'll put my email in the chat soon. So, padres, si ustedes quieren mantenerse comunicados, les sugerimos que puedan visitar todas nuestras redes sociales, pero más que todo nuestra página web. Allí está toda la información que se manda del distrito y de nuestro campus personalmente. Si usted quiere saber cómo completar la encuesta en Skyward, allí va a estar. Si quiere saber las rutas de sus estudiantes, del del bus, todo está allí. Si ustedes tienen alguna pregunta, siempre me pueden mandar un correo electrónico y yo lo voy a poner aquí en el chat. Y mi nombre es Danica Palacios, soy la asistente ejecutiva del campus.
Gracias, Danica. Ok, para terminar, nada más queríamos recordar que la próxima junta es el 17 de noviembre, va a ser un martes a las 5:30 otra vez. Vamos a mandar recordatorios. Y para terminar, queríamos hacer, so we just want to remind you guys that the next WFA meeting is Tuesday, November 17th, and we'll share out some reminders. And then to close out, we just wanted to talk about a new parent opportunity. A lot of you parents have been reaching out about how to help and contribute during this time to our community. There is a link that Ms. Ryans is going to drop in the chat. I don't know if she's here. Emily?
Hi, I'm here. I think Ms. Palacios is going to and for us, but like Ms. Bree said, one thing that we know is that a lot of you have been asking how you can support our teachers and show them some love for how hard they've been working to help your wizards both in person and at home. And so if you are interested in helping us get those care packages out to teachers, you can fill out that form. If this is not something that you want to invest in at this time, that's totally fine. But for those of you who've been asking, that link is in the chat. Thank you.
Esta oportunidad, thank you, Ms. Ryans. Esta oportunidad es para los padres que quieren ayudar porque nos han dicho que quieren ayudar en esta situación o cómo pueden involucrarse en la comunidad. Entonces, hay una forma que vamos a bajar en la chat donde si usted está interesado de asemblar y llevar como canastas de apreciación a los maestros que todavía están en la casa, enseñando en casa, como de apreciación para ellos, por favor, ponga su información que quiere ayudar con esa oportunidad.
And we will follow up about whoever responds to the survey after common assessments. After we get through next week, we'll follow up with families who take the survey.
Perfect. Y si usted llena esa encuesta que quiere ayudar e involucrarse, vamos a ponernos en contacto después de la próxima semana, porque la próxima semana es puro examen. Entonces, vamos a enfocarnos en eso. Ok.
Perdón que la interrumpa, pero sí tenía una pregunta yo.
¿Sí?
Sí, la pregunta que yo tenía era si ya encontraron algo o qué es lo que van a hacer para poder poner alguna protección en lo de el web de Teams para que protejan de las personas que están poniendo fotos inapropiadas.
That's a
¿Ya
great
encontraron
question.
algo?
That's a great question. I don't know if Ms. McIntyre is still on the call or Ms. Galligan. The question is, what have we developed any type of protective software for Teams to prevent from inappropriate images to being shown through Teams?
I think they all left already. That's an amazing question.
Yeah.
I think we're still here.
Okay. There's Emily.
Sorry.
There's Ms. Galligan.
Oh, okay.
I was talking and I was on mute. Sorry about that. I'm getting dinner on the table, getting dinner settled and doing things at the same time. So there are a couple different responses to that question. So we definitely have web filters for all of our students who are using our school-based computers. For students who are using their own devices, we obviously do not have control over what web filters there are on there. So we definitely ask our parents to lean heavily on them to put filters on for those students. Teams
Can I translate that?
Sure, go for it.
I'll forget. La pregunta era de que una de las respuestas es que para aparatos y computadoras que son de la escuela, sí hay protección por medio de enlaces que previene que el estudiante use o vaya o ponga imágenes inapropiadas. Pero cuando es computadora personal, no tenemos ese mismo control a sus computadoras.
Microsoft Teams is a platform, so it's not like a web search function. So it is a platform, and our platform is limited to the people who have logins, and so that is our students. So, do you want me to pause there?
La aplicación Teams es solamente eso, una aplicación, pero no es como no es el web, no es como el internet, lo grandioso que es el internet. Es una aplicación por medio de Microsoft Word.
Yep. So the people who have access to our platform on Teams are our staff and students. So if students make a poor choice in sending an inappropriate image to another student, that is a situation where a parent or student needs to fill out an incident report so that we can investigate and issue the correct consequence.
Yeah.
Now, oh, go ahead.
Cuando las únicas personas que tienen acceso a esta aplicación de nosotros, son estudiantes de nosotros y facultad de nosotros. Cuando un estudiante o cualquier persona en nuestra comunidad hace la decisión de poner una foto inapropiada a otro estudiante o en su clase, eso es una situación donde el maestro o el estudiante o el padre tiene que llenar un reporte de incidente.
We really rely on the reports because our technology team at the district level can look into any activity from any user who logs in to our teams.
Y la razón que es muy importante que tengamos el reporte, porque cuando nos dan el reporte, nuestro equipo técnico del distrito tienen maneras de investigar quién exactamente fue por medios técnicos, aunque el estudiante trate de esconder su nombre o trata de hacer que es otra persona, el equipo de técnico del distrito tiene maneras de investigar de dónde vino esa imagen.
If an individual student feels that someone else is accessing their login on Teams, our next steps for them are to change their password. And if they need support with that, they can reach out to their teachers or GLC.
Yeah. Si estudiantes sienten que alguien lo está como impersonando o tiene acceso a su perfil, es cuando el estudiante tiene que decirle a su maestro o a su DOS o a sus maestros de él para que le ayuden a cambiar su código.
Yep. And so, and then Breeze, I'll let you kind of close out with like what you would want as a dean of students in receiving reports in order to investigate and keep kids safe.
Yeah, so como dean of students, yo y el señor Barton de secundaria, yo soy de prepa, siempre vemos cuando recibimos los reportes de todos involucrados. Entonces, es muy importante que incluya en qué tiempo qué horario, como what block was it in, porque eso nos ayuda a poder investigar quién estuvo en esas clases con el estudiante, con quién interactuó. También nos ayuda que ponga los nombres, si se lo sabe, de las personas que usted sospecha que el estudiante sospecha, porque muchas veces los niños se hablan entre ellos y ellos mismos tienen sospechas, entonces eso nos ayuda como a empezar la investigación en una parte. So two things that I said is the timing of things, so the date and then time, like what block you are noticing these things happen, or the student is noticing where this happened, because that allows us to start tracing who was interacting with your student at that time, what block, right? And then also, if the student feels that they have even a gut feeling of who it might be, a lot of peers talk to one another before it gets to us. So a lot of the times the student's gut feeling leads us into the right direction. So it gives me a starting point of when to start my investigation, if you're able to name who you think is involved, listing those names. Yeah. Any other No, parece que eso es todo. Y ya para respetar el tiempo de todos, vamos a cerrar y concluir la junta. I saw that we answered all of the questions. If you have any other questions or concerns, please reach out to us directly. Nahida.breeze@yesprep.org. Me puede hacer una pregunta a mí directamente y para respetar el tiempo de todos, vamos a concluir la junta. So we're going to go ahead and conclude the meeting.
Ok, maestra, gracias. Sí, ya llenamos el reporte.
Ok.
Y
Podemos hablar
yo le
después.
hablo. Sí, gracias.
Sí, podemos hablar después.
Bye bye.
Gracias. Thank you everybody for joining. Everybody go enjoy your dinner. Please join us back November
on the 17th. Bye.
Muchas gracias. Bye.